with Masters Union, I think the best thing that I found was that I could go back into the startup ecosystem without taking a step back in the career, if I was to position it that way.
I've always believed in experience and hands-on doing over an educational experience in a classroom. So I feel doing something always teaches you a great deal more than sitting and hearing about it. So which is why I chose Masters Union.
I am learning more with you all guys than I would have otherwise in my normal corporate job, especially with the diverse views that we have, the kind of industry exposure that we have, the kind of just different thinking that we have.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Masters Union podcast. Today we're sitting with the first cohort of PGP Rise at Masters Union. PGP Rise, where Rise stands for the Executive Program. So yes, now we are and we'd like to introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Ishani. I'm a fashion designer and run a label called Earth Republic. And he is...
Hi, I'm Ajay. I work as a project manager at Microsoft and I want to be in the top of the league growing in my career.
Hi, I'm Anindya, a budding entrepreneur, and here to learn more.
Hi, I'm Ramsha. I'm a hotelier and I'm currently handling takeaway and food delivery for ITC Hotels.
So hi, I'm Aniket. I head media and analytics at a digital marketing agency.
Hi, I'm Amit. I am the AVP for Process Excellence for a banking organization in Gurgaon itself, and hoping to learn quite a few more things.
The first question, what was life like before we came back to college? I'll start by answering it. So for me, it became pretty mundane with my label and so many things happening at once. I had a lot of things going on. That's how I thought I'll add a little spice to life, take up a new challenge, and that's how Masters Union happened for me. You would like to?
Yeah, prior to joining Masters Union, I had a couple of checkpoints in my life. One is getting married and the other is buying an EV for myself. That was my first car.
Exciting story. So I was in a monotonous life. None of my friends, you all must be knowing how I'm in the class. But before that, it was all monotonous. I'm working in a work from home environment. I've been sitting, so I wake up at 9. And that is, and sleep again at 12, I guess. So it was a mundane life. The exciting bit was that being a serial entrepreneur, I do have some projects running parallelly, which I'm building. And then there was this thing in my mind that I want to learn more. It's getting kind of, it's reaching the ceiling now. So I wanted something exciting and I started scouting for it. And probably that's how I even got into Masters Union. So that's my story.
So adding on to your story, hoteliers are usually working on Saturdays and Sundays. So most of my early years, I've spent working on Saturdays and Sundays. So what happened suddenly, I made this shift to strategy. So I had my Saturdays, Sundays off and I started feeling bored. I was like, what do I do? I'm not working on Saturday, Sunday. I have nothing to do. And that's when I found out about Masters Union. So there was a couple of, gaps also that I identified, shifting from an operations role to a strategy role. I was like, hey, then why not? At least I'll make some use, add value to my weekends. And here I am. What about you, Aniket?
I was working 16 hours a day on weekdays and then a few clients bugging me on weekends as well. And eventually I realized that I was building the same presentations over and over and over again for different clients, some level of copy pasting, and it was sort of calcifying in terms of what all I knew. I had become an echo chamber. So that's why before college, I think I was the same person, but in a very different box. So that's what's opened up for me.
Yeah, I think my weekends were pretty chill. I was not working. So that was easier for me. I would just wake up, go on a bike ride, spend time with my son. I was like, that was getting way too boring, way too fast. So I wanted to do something exciting, tried everything else, horse riding, bungee jumping. I was like, let's do something more exciting. So I ended up doing Executive MBA.
So Masters Union and bungee jumping was same for you, like same level of adventure?
Yeah, life-threatening.
Life-threatening?
Exciting, something. Same level.
Interesting.
Just like scuba diving.
Yeah, scuba diving.
Well, having said that, we're talking about so many interesting activities, so many things. Let's think a little about what was our school life like for us. What is that one memory, especially since we were talking to you and you spoke about so many things, so many adventurous things. What was school life like for you? What is that one thing you think of when you think of school?
Going to school on my cycle. That was the most fun I had in school.
How about you, Ajay?
So I had a very interesting childhood. In my 10th class, I became the school people leader. So I had my leadership skills. Got a chance to exhibit my leadership skills early in my childhood. I led almost 800 students from class 1st to class 10th. I've organized 4 events. One is for Independence Day, one is for Teachers Day, one is for Republic Day, and one is for Annual Day. And I had the best memories in my childhood.
Ajay sounds like my dad's ideal child.
I agree.
Because you know what kind of kid I was in school? My favorite thing was the sound of the bell.
Oh,
PT,
nice.
lunch, holiday. What about you, Ajay?
And then
Anindya.
Thanks. So, for me, I was in a school which which celebrated its sesquicentennial year back in 2012. It's a 160-old school, and celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan, Markandeya Kaju, and many chief justices, one chief justice, I guess, and many judges of Allahabad High Court have studied from that school. So it had its own legacy, and we made our own legacies. I still recall that with my friends we used to go to different places just after our classes gets over. We used to kind of cycle to probably a new place, probably Sangam, exploring in our childhood.
Ah.
Which for some is like once we'll get into the adolescence thing, we'll do it. But there we had that sense of security with people around us, with the friends around us. We used to explore even during those days. So yeah, that was the most exciting bit from my school days.
Anindya was the wanderlust kind of child.
Yeah.
Talking of wanderlust, I am an army brat. Grew up and changed so many schools. Every couple of years, I changed schools. So for me, whenever I think of school, I definitely think of things like aircraft, tanks, and everything that was stuck around in colleges, in school as display. In addition to that, I also really envy you guys who had friends, the same friends from 1st to 12th. I think I've never had that, and that's why I hold on so tight to my college friends, because that was where I did not change. I wasn't the new kid in class ever.
Talking of the new kid in the class, I think I've had a very interesting shift in my schooling. I was initially in Delhi, then we suddenly went to Bombay, and that time the culture of Delhi and Mumbai are completely opposite and poles apart. Then I came back to Delhi, so 3 cultural shocks. But I've been the new kid, not very nice. But we've not spoken about college. College में afternoon beer, break लेके.
I think कॉलेज में बियर, कॉलेज में कॉफी, कॉलेज में सब कुछ ही बहुत अच्छा लगता है और हजम भी हो जाता है. Nobody gains weight in college for some reason, whatever you're eating, no matter how often you're going out. So I think college is mad for everybody. Compared to that, I think Masters Union experience is very, very different. We're execs also. What do you have to say about that, Amit?
कितना weight gain किया?
I don't remember. In college, I didn't. I gained pregnancy weight. That was a different story altogether, though. But yes, so what is our best memory from our college campus? Whether be it school campus or college campus? And no, tanks don't count. From a campus. Let me start. My best memory from a campus would be from Masters Union campus. Technically, it's not even in the campus. It was in the Goa trip. The best memory I have is watching Ajay dance.
Oh my god, yeah.
That thing is imprinted on my mind. I never knew this guy could dance. He never even told anybody. What was the song? Mukabla. From
Prabhu Deva's
it
Atma
was
came
like
into him.
Prabhu Deva descended and
It's not about one song, Amit. It's about the emotion that you remember when you hear the sound, right? That made me tap my foot and feel that energy around me.
you did more than tap your foot. You were bloody hell dancing around.
But what was
No,
that
but you were
memory?
very good. You were very, very good. We'll tell you
Yeah.
that. What are the top 3 things you'd say are going well for you? And what are the 3 things you think are holding you back from being your best self?
Okay, the top 3 good things that happened to me are the first thing is joining my favorite engineering college. That's my favorite because
Which was?
which was Chaitanya Bharati Institute of Engineering. that was my favorite because back in South, there is a movie that got released which is named Happy Days, which was directed by Shekhar Kamala. He is a graduate from Chaitanya Bharati Institute of Technology. And he made a movie using that college premises only. And we used to think that college life would be this enjoyable. But after coming to engineering college, we got to know what is the reality.
How the dreams were shattered. Okay, but the three things going good for you, nothing that went wrong. So first is you got the college of your
Yeah.
dreams, which put you in a company like Microsoft. What else? What are the two other things that are going well for you?
Correct. So second thing would be joining Microsoft.
Okay.
I still remember when I was in my third year of engineering, there was a detour of my college bus, and it took me via the Microsoft campus. And that was the first time I saw Microsoft campus. And the first building that I saw it doesn't look like a building where people live because I saw cars in them. It's a car parking building. It's a 7th-floor car parking building. And then I wondered if anyone has to work in a place, then this is the place. Then cut to 1.5 years later, I am in that place.
How nice.
Very nice.
How nice.
And the third thing I would say is joining Masters Union. Because during our orientation day, when Pratham came to our classroom, the energy he shared, the vibe that he got, I can even still sense it.
Pramsha, tell us three things that are absolutely working out for you and three things that you feel are holding you back.
Okay, so the three things that are going good for me would be I identified certain gaps when I moved from operations to strategy. So initially I was doing a very operations oriented role, and then post COVID, there was a mass industry exit, and then I shifted to this new role of strategy in food delivery. So I think yes, that was going great for me. I loved my new role, but then I realized that there are certain gaps when you move from one domain to the other, and to bridge those, I possibly came to Masters Union, and it's been going great for me so far. There are also some personal things that I've discovered about myself from the mentorship sessions. So I've been told that I'm more critical about myself. So those are things that I'm working on. Those are things that you don't realize yourself. You need mentors and people to analyze your personality and see how you're behaving. So yeah, there are a lot of things that I need to work on, but there's a lot of things that I have achieved, and I'm happy that I'm here.
Okay. Interestingly, the three things I'd actually go by things that are going well and things that are not going well, because I'll eventually lose out some count somewhere. So probably one of the things that's going well for me is at Masters Union right now has pushed me above and beyond what I was generally comfortable doing. And that puts me in the effort zone that I've, I think, possibly slightly come back from. Settling in the job, doing certain things the certain way. So I think that's something which is going well. I think another thing is that because weekends have become so active that whenever the family has plans over weekends, I'm like, no, I have something better to do. I'd go there and learn. So I think that's going well. I'm not saying that it's not going that well. Another thing that's going well is I've been able to give a lot more time to college and campus, and I've met so many undergrad kids, postgrad kids in the campus, and I feel that I'm learning from them as well. I think that's another thing that's going well. Not so good things. I think 1 year is too short. It's going to end soon, so I would want to be around for a couple of years more. That's a good place to be in.
So, pre-Masters Union, life was pretty easy. So, had a good job, was taking care of the family, was enjoying my weekends. Something was missing, so I thought I should rather do an MBA. The last time I actually studied or did any kind of structured education was more than a decade ago. So I was like, before I get old and get into something else midlife crisis, let's do my MBA first. So that's what led me here. And I'm happy I did that because I am learning more with you all guys than I would have otherwise in my normal corporate job. Especially with the diverse views that we have, the kind of industry exposure that we have, the kind of just different thinking that we have, just working on a different project. If you are in a corporate, nobody tells you you're doing a bad job. They just don't tell you anything. You either keep doing your job and not get any feedback. But when you're working with your peers on a project, you get different point of views, you get to learn from them, and then you get to implement. And then there is a professor that comes in the class and tells you, you don't know anything. That is the best part. So that is what I'm thoroughly enjoying.
So I'll take it now. 3 things that I think were going right for me, still are. Had a business of my own, wanted a label since I was a little girl. So yes, one win. Had an amazingly supportive family, second win, going well for me. Thirdly, I really thought I had figured it out. I figured out my work-life balance. What I felt was holding me back was I thought I sucked at finance. Kind of figured that out now. Second thing that was holding me back was I felt I had a very limited circle, having been from a design background. Most of my friends were designers, stylists, within the same industry. Now I'm friends with somebody who's a VP in a bank. So I mean, never thought I'd be friends with people like that. So yes, limited circle. And thirdly, I felt I did not look at the bigger picture in life. So yes, those were the 3 things that were going right for me and 3 things that were kind of holding me back. But that's where Masters Union came into the picture and kind of balanced it out for me. So yes, that would be my story. How about Anandya?
Interesting. So I see the good and bad things as yin and yang. So if something is good, something is bad, and something is bad, there must be something good behind it. Like we are investing our time and energy, even our weekends. So we may not get those benefits of a free weekend, but we are learning on the other end. So I'll take back a step, think about before joining Masters Union, the things which were good were I was doing entrepreneurship, I was building my business. The bad thing was I didn't have that structured approach of building a proper pitch deck probably. The second thing was, which was going good, I had a job. But the bad thing about it was not paying me enough. So yeah, probably that could help by learning more and then getting a good offer. The third thing would be, I was just attending the virtual meetings. In a work from home environment, it's just virtual meets. Now, it's like I'm meeting people. I look forward to that Saturday and Sunday thing because I'll be going to a place where I'll be meeting people. Which was not like Monday to Friday is actually Saturday and Sunday for me. I wash my clothes, I do all the household chores, and that is how my Monday to Friday looks right now. So yeah, that's how I would take my bad and good thing.
I have a question here. So before we joined and when we thought about Executive MBA, what came to our mind? Like, is this what you thought an Executive MBA would be like? Because when I thought about Executive MBA, thought it would be online classes, just listening to a boring lecture and then submitting your assignments and everything. This is not what it is. This is entirely different. I am spending time literally sourcing coffee and making coffee, which is not what I thought Executive MBA would be like. What are your thoughts?
Same. I think a lot of my very dear friends have done like their exec MBAs and regular MBAs from schools like ISB and all. And for them, the academic part of it is very rigorous. Not that it's not for us. But here, I really thought when I was doing an exec course, I thought it's going to be online. Similar to him, I didn't know that I'd be so involved, that I'd be sitting here building businesses with y'all, connecting with y'all, actually being a part of it. Because as an academician, I have done a lot of online cohorts also, which I ran. And it was never something that people were involved as much, or, you actually had to come on campus, build a business, have the revenue, spend the money, sometimes waste the money. But having said that, yes, it's nothing like what we thought of. It's very hands-on. You're actually building a business. You also call each other CMO, CFO, all of that. I remember we ran a business together, bakery business, where Ramsha was the COO, I was the CEO. Hypothetical bhi nahi, but actually mein tha 4 log ki company thi.
And that's all you got.
So I think it was a lot of fun and we actually made money. We ate amazing food. So I never thought that is all that would be a part of an exec MBA. What do you feel about that, Ramsha? What do you feel? What's your take, 2 cents?
Yeah, I mean, the Le Petit 5 experience was great. Honestly, we were thriving, serving, eating, doing everything at once. And there's a certain kind of satisfaction that comes out of serving people good food and making money out of it. And that's my domain. So, yeah, of course. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot. But I think also to add on to this, I felt like the pace at which the world was moving, I needed to keep up. And that is why I came here. I mean, Ajay from Microsoft, he would know how he's disrupting the world.
No, so basically, back in Hyderabad, where I work at Microsoft, Microsoft shares the same compound wall with ISB,
Ah,
right? So even my previous reporting manager is a graduate from ISB. I went to ISB a couple of times to play badminton over there with my manager, but I know the ins and outs of ISB as well because I have interacted with a lot of ISB graduates in my company, as well as a lot of IM graduates as well. The things that I've listened from them and the things that I've thought about an exec MBA, when I compare it with the program of PGP Rise from Masters Union, most of them are matching, but one point to mention here is I don't think there is a college in the world who can give an opportunity to interact with the founder himself and discuss your business ideas with the founder himself or the whole Masters Union management team, right? That opportunity of networking and connecting with different kinds of people, I don't think any other business school would give.
Also becoming a CTO overnight. He was the CTO of our bakery business, which is Le Petit 5. Very successful. Doesn't exist anymore, but very successful while it lasted. So how was it being the CTO? Was it fun?
At least in Microsoft, I did not work on the technology part since 5 to 6 years when I started Le Petit 5. But getting back to the technology part and figuring out how that technology is helping the business and generating more money is quite a bit of challenging because I had a gap working
and
with the
building the
technology.
website from scratch.
Yes, exactly. So I have my own challenges during that time, but the learning was quite a fun.
Well, you never helped Microsoft sell brownies as well. That is what you did there. Did you ever imagine you would be literally standing at a stall selling brownies and actually telling people what's in the brownie?
Not in my dreams.
There was nothing objectionable in the brownie, I can promise you that.
Just very clean.
Let's agree to disagree.
Very, very clean. Very healthy.
Healthy-ish.
Ish.
Healthy.
Lot of sugar.
No, Ishani, since you've been talking about your experience, why don't you tell me that one thing that you would have done differently had you come to Masters Union earlier?
One thing that I think I entered Masters Union at the right time. I think if I would have joined a little earlier, before my business had reached like a little mature level, my learnings or my takeaways wouldn't be as great. So I feel for me, legit, the timing was perfect around the time, and I don't know how that happened. The universe is kind of conspiring to make this happen, because when I thought I should get an MBA and I was thinking exec MBA, I was going through courses, and that's just when Masters Union launched this, and I went through the curriculum, and it just felt like something I had to do or something I could actually experience doing as an entrepreneur who had worked. I felt, okay, this is something I can do. This is something that I'll learn from also. I was technologically very, very impaired. I kid you not, there's so much I've learned here, though I'm still not as good as friends here, but I mean, so much better. I've come such a long way since I started. I mean, I can put a Shopify website together. I mean, I'm being very confident right now, guys, but maybe I can. So, I mean, lots of learning. I was here at the right time. How about you, Amit? Timing for you. Would you want to come sooner? What would you do different if you came in sooner?
No, I was exploring options, exec MBA or a normal MBA, for like multiple years. I just never took the leap of faith. So I was just trying to explore my options like I do every year. Let's do an MBA. It's time to upskill myself. And I just placed a call. I asked them where the the institute is. They told us Cyberpark. I was like, I'm also in Cyberpark. Where are you guys at? They told, yeah, we are in Tower C. I was like, I'm also in Tower C.
Abhi aata
Now,
hu.
yeah, this is now getting freaky. Like, no, you guys are not in Tower C. Is this a real institute? Like, yeah, we have a board. I literally had to go downstairs, look outside the building, and I saw the board. And then I realized I never even actually realized that there was an MBA institute right here. And I was in this building for like 2 months before I joined Masters Union. So it was an eye-opening. I was like, yeah, this is going to be pretty easy. I can keep working and sneak out of office and attend classes.
Talking about the
not
board,
that I do that.
talking about the board, after I taken admission in Masters Union, I like कि campus किधर है? Everyone was like campus किधर? The Cyber Park. अच्छा, Cyber Park देखा but campus किधर है? So one of the times I was driving from Delhi, and I think it was later in the night, so it was the roads were fairly empty, and I was showing my folks, and that's Masters Union. Like रास्ते पे देख के गाड़ी चला, लोगों को देखा, हम लोग देख लेंगे. But it faces Delhi, so that's interesting. Like, this exists. It's not non-existent, and it's in a good place. It's in the prime place.
So what would you have done differently had you joined Masters Union earlier?
Nothing.
PGP.
So
Normal
much.
PGP.
I would have done the full-time PGP. I would have left my job, done the full-time PGP. I think if I would have joined earlier than I did, I would not have enough managerial experience to actually understand a lot of things in perspective. Also, because I'm the younger ones out of the batch, I think a lot of people have already led teams and managed, and people are there with 12, 15 years of experience with diverse backgrounds. I think joining at the right time, I think that was the right time. Because if I would have done it before, I would have done the full-time program with a cohort which was much less experienced. That's something which would have been different for me.
Yeah, I mean, when you come here and you learn on an exec MBA, there's a lot of things that you can actually real-time apply
Yeah.
at the job. So yeah, that's act as a plus. How about you, Anindya?
My story is totally different about like getting into Masters Union. So I see the manifestation thing also running there. So I was working with one of the offices just next to our building, and when Masters Union had their first cohort, I got the news that okay, they are doing good, and I had this curiosity to go. Being a wanderlust kid, I wanted to go and see what exactly they are doing. So I came to the campus. I met the director here, and I don't even remember the names now. But I explored the whole ecosystem, and at that time we were not that big. There wasn't the building. The block A was still building, so it was being constructed. So I explored the place, and it gave me a bell that okay, you can also get into some institutes like this where you have corporates around you. We are in the capital in NCR with all these offices around, and we get these CXO. So I had that thing to learn from the masters themselves. So since childhood, I had this thing that I would never ask someone guidance who haven't done it before. Here we get these CXO. So if I want to become a CEO, I would actually ask the CEO how you have gone there. So that gave me, I mean, the first impression was good. Fast forward, again an Instagram ad, and I was like, probably this is the time. Let's take that plunge, and yeah, this is how I got in Masters Union.
That's the real deal.
No, so see, my thought process was completely different when I had this challenging situations in my corporate life of to my work experience, a candidate with my work experience might not get an opportunity at an early career stage to become a project manager, right? I got that opportunity maybe because I'm in Microsoft, but I do not want to ruin that opportunity, and I want to grow in my career, right? So I thought to myself to not stop anywhere, anytime. And then I went to my manager seeking help to find out more career growth opportunities. But the only constraint was my total work experience. So prior joining to Masters Union, I had close to 8 years of work experience, but that is a hindrance because I think most of the general project managers, they're at least 10 years of work experience. They had at least 10 years of work experience. So there was a work experience constraint to me. So I told my manager that I'll prove myself by doing an executive program, and maybe that will give me that leap of faith and growth in my career opportunities as well. And I feel this is the right time for me to join MU as well.
Ramsha's not told us her take it. What would you join early? What would you do differently if you could join early?
If I could join early, I think this is the perfect time for me to join because as I told you all earlier, I switched from operations to strategy. So there's a certain skill set that I needed to build, and Masters Union came along and it was the right fit.
This entire executive MBA program is a bit disruptive. Let's be honest about it, because nobody should be buying campus in this costly property, at least renting it out. So, what made you think that this format was for you? Because for me, it was like, if there is an institute that is going to make me go to a market and try to sell something, or there is an institute where I can experiment with different strategies without losing my job. So if I can spend some money and get that kind of a sandbox environment, that would be pretty fun. So that is what my thought process was. What was something that you were thinking, Ajay?
So I've always believed in experience and hands-on doing over an educational experience in a classroom. So I feel doing something always teaches you a great deal more than sitting and hearing about it. And this does not come from a philosophy or from a book. This is something that I've experienced real time. We're all different kinds of learners, and I'm the kind of learner that learns while doing. So which is why I chose Masters Union. I wouldn't have to leave my job. I could, do an MBA along with it, make my Saturdays and Sundays productive. That was important for me because they were getting monotonous. And 3, I would actually get a hands-on experience on how to build a business. What better?
Before joining my first job, I had a startup of my own. And the entire so the point of anyone going to a B school is, of course, learning business. And because and having my own startup actually gave me a lot of jump in my career. It trained me well for what my day job was. Now with Masters Union, I think the best thing that I found was that I could go back into the startup ecosystem without, I think, taking a step back in the career, if I was to position it that way. The fallout was just my time, nothing in terms of the career. So it was great to go back into that, as you said, sandbox environment, experiment, try building something. Possibly you would not have to go back to your old life and just build a new life. And it's because that kind of uncertainty is the good uncertainty that you want in life. Not having a roster saying that the next 1 year you have 7 terms, this is how it's going to run, but also that how will my business turn out to be by the time I graduate? Would I leave with the co-founders or fellow peers going elsewhere? So I think that's one aspect of disruption that actually intrigued me to go, because I was exploring other places, and plus the campus is in prime location. Always helpful.
See, back in Microsoft, when I got the opportunity to work as a project manager, I used to call myself as an accidental project manager. Because that came as an opportunity from my reporting manager, right? So, but then once I got to know the reason behind it, that is where I understood that I am not an accidental project manager, because what I got to know is that my reporting manager has received a positive feedback about me, and he was been observing me all the time, and he observed that I have a lot of management skills in me, and instead of me being in a software engineer role, why don't you take up a project manager role? That came out of no blue, right? So that is the reason I used to think as an accidental project manager, but my manager observed those skills in me, and then the opportunity came at my door. what I feel about Masters Union is I already have the basics in me, but whatever the 6 months that we had so far is actually strengthening that basics, right? It is strengthening that foundational skills that we already have inside ourselves. That's what I feel.
Anybody else who wants to take up this question? You've not answered.
Thank you. So, talking about disruption in education, we all talk about. I guess it's not just in India; it's across the world. Everybody is kind of bored with that education rat race, and the way Masters Union have disrupted it is like do and assess yourself. We are not doing some theoretical studies. We are actually implementing it and assessing our own selves. Like talk about a dropshipping thing or the VIP thing. We are assessing our own selves when it comes to the stakeholder management. We talk to our own team and we get into quarrels, we get into the conflict of interest, we resolve it then and there. So that is one thing which I guess is actually adding a lot to my own journey in my career trajectory. I'll say that it's helping me a lot. So yeah, that's my take for this disruptive ecosystem of education.
Meanwhile, we're almost 8 months into the course. What is that one skill set you feel you've learned that you did not have, especially on campus, getting your hands dirty with all of these businesses that we've built? What is it? For me, honestly, it is I knew nothing of finance and tech. I think I can make a balance sheet by myself now. I actually know what a P&L is and can build one by myself now. And also a lot about tech. I use like wireframes and all that. I understand it. I can do it now. So I think those have been some of my greatest, and they've all been hard skills for me. How about you, Ajay? What were the things that you learned, because you came with a lot of hard skills already?
If I could pick one skill that I've learned from MU is people management, because you get to talk with people day in and day out whenever you are in campus or online as well. And you have to manage people in such a way that, like for example, let's take our assignment case studies. We are put into groups, and then we have to discuss among ourselves. When you put your point forward, you'll have to make others understand what you're trying to say, and then you will anyway have to listen to others and understand what they are trying to say, so that you can make a sense out of it, and then submit your assignments to
And
the
manage
master.
the heart burning also कि इसने ज़्यादा काम किया इसने कम काम किया, you know eventually वो balance out हो ही जाएगा next assignment में.
Yeah,
Yes.
so people management is one good skill that
How
I've
about
learned.
you, Anindya?
So I resonate with your thing that balance sheet मुझे नहीं आती थी, or any financial stuff मुझे कुछ नहीं आता. I'm more techie, more strategic and operation thing, but finance was something which I was missing. And in the first term itself, we got to understand our own balance sheet. Now I actually got to my CA and asked for my startup's balance sheet to understand what exactly is happening there, because I knew nothing. So yeah, that is one thing which is kind of helping me a lot. What about you?
Yeah, so like you all said, finance and tech, I think, has been a common learning for all of us. But yeah, I think I've learned a lot of life skills as well. Talk about time management. I think coming to college every Saturday, Sunday, managing my life, balancing out everything during the week, I think that's a great skill. And maybe after I do my MBA, I'll have a lot of time to, maybe go on and explore something else, kind of. Break beyond my comfort level and try new things, do new things, take up new challenges. So yeah, it's made me a lot more confident about just go and get it.
Ramshad, this course is not only offline, it's also online. It's a hybrid program. We have the flexibility of attending the classes online also, but some of us chose to come to campus and then
And
enjoy
some
the
of us
learnings.
has exploited that opportunity a lot.
So
Both of us would echo there. We've been online mostly because I somehow learn better online for that matter.
I don't agree with that, no. But we have a very different teaching methodology that's implemented, and we generally learn from people who are like way up the ladder and founders, CXOs, etc. And mostly people we would report to or work with. So how does that make people feel? So that's one thing that I would want to share, and I would also ask you guys to share, and also about the fact that when you interact with those people, you partially take away their personality. What component of that do you take to the boardrooms and in your learnings? You also start mirroring some people in certain ways. So for me personally, we've met a lot of great marketers, say for example, a few founders of the companies that I really liked. And the conversations with them is something that sticks around. And then those are quotes, etc., that you would use. Even our professors, they challenge the actual implementation way of marketing. I've done marketing for a major part of my life. And when they talk about marketing, it's like idealistic. And there's some sense that you borrow from them. And then those statements or those rules are that's something you're going to take. For example, SWOT analysis is something which Amit will talk about later. You can go to a boardroom and talk about that. I think that's a great thing. Amit, why don't you tell your SWOT analysis story?
No, absolutely. So, half of my life, corporate life, I've been doing SWOT analysis for teams, figuring out how they work best. And the very first marketing class we were taught, SWOT analysis can't be done that way. I literally felt like my job was a sham. And then when we went through more classes, I realized it was. Whatever I was doing was bullshit. And only Bhupesh sir has been able to call me out on that. Ever. Never in my corporate life have I ever had that self-realization. Oh, my job can be done by a monkey. Thank God I have not been fired yet. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank God I'm learning more skills.
I'm actually looking forward to the course that is being taught by Pratham in our term 3. I'm really looking forward to that course because just think about the learnings that you would get from a founder of a business school and taking it to your corporate world. And I just, if you think about it, sky is the limit.
Yep.
Right. What do you think, Kamsha?
Yeah, I mean, who better to learn than the person who's actually built the college? What about you, India?
I mean, the whole, not just our cohort is interesting, the cohort of the professors is also interesting. Imagine, I've never expected someone who's a former managing director of Accenture would come and teach us operations. That is when I realized that actually I'm learning from the biggies now. And PVC or our finance or anything. The cohort of the professors are so kind of, they have cherry picked, the management have cherry picked for us because now we'll hear them. It's not just a theoretical game. It actually makes sense to learn who have done it before and have made things across the world. So yeah, it's been professors. I'll not name everyone because it's a huge bunch. It's been, now we are in our term 3, so yeah, every one of them are amazing.
And also to leverage the connections that we build, studying from these
Obviously,
people. Imagine
obviously.
sitting for an interview and saying, oh yes, your CMO taught me this and this is what he said and this is how he would like to do this. So I think that is great. How
Right.
about, what do you think, Ajay?
No, so the cohort of masters that we have is really, really great in terms. That's the point of difference when you compare it with the other business schools, right? Of course, I like basically this is where the value add is of Masters Union. Getting to learn from the masters who are actually working in a corporate world and learning from their point of view and implementing those learnings back into your corporate world is something that's exceptional.
No, absolutely. It actually helps. So whatever you're learning in class on, let's say, on Sundays, you are able to go back to college and learn something and then take it to your corporate experience and then actually be able to implement it. That is not something that you would be able to do if you're doing MBA. It takes about 2 years, and by the time you get out of MBA, most of that stuff is already out of your mind. So this way we are able to learn, implement, get actual feedback, what is working, what is not. If it's just theoretical, if it's actual practical, as he said, you get to understand what the market reality is and what we need to learn as well.
I think if we also talk about a legacy. Yes, at Masters Union, we don't yet have like an alum network or a lot of people who are in good firms, but we can actually say that because a lot of our courses are taught by, let's say, the co-founder of Shebang, the CMO of Modi Naturals, the CMO of Epigamia. I think that is also a legacy. I think we might not have seniors who've been in college before, but I feel that also kind of gives us a great edge over everybody else.
I'll just latch on to that. When Siddharth Man was teaching us, his examples for branding. I think when we talk to different brands or we're doing projects, and we mentioned that this is what Epigamia did, and this is what the CMO of Epigamia told us that he's implemented for
That's
Epigamia.
big. That's very big.
That's very powerful in itself. At that point of time, you can't say that I'm from X college and that I'm saying this, but your credibility is added by the kind of masters who've taught you. I think that's been very powerful.
When somebody from a legacy school is sitting there and you say that actually Epigamia's CMO told us this, that has a lot of weightage and overshadows everything. Having said that, having learned from so many best in industry, whether we talk about CMOs, we talk about MD of Accenture, having professors like that teaching us the full course, not a master class, not anything, a full course. What do you think your next innings, or what is that next thing that you want to do or you want to achieve? We'll start with Ajay for this.
Yeah, sure. Before joining Masters Union, I never had a thought of starting my own company. But I think the energy and passion that everyone shows here at campus, including students as well as masters, I think that ignited the passion of starting my own company and starting my entrepreneurial journey. So I would say I might start a company for myself and and bring out that business into the world and have my entrepreneurial journey started.
Just to add on to what Ajay said, I think entrepreneurial spark is something that has been lit in all of us. That's like the MU stamp. You are an entrepreneurial spirit, that is for sure. The second thing, I think I've really wanted to be a specialist at something. Until now, my journey has always been a journalist. I've been a generalist about everything in general, managing things as a whole, but now I see myself as a specialist. So possibly by the end of this course, I'll pick up a specialization and just work towards it to be the best at something. How about you, Anandya?
That's great. So the thought is interesting that we all are kind of aligning and learning through this journey that what is our why. So that's an interesting thought. We all are we ponder every weekend that what's our why. With all these courses being thrown to us, amalgamation of finance, tech, marketing. Every day when we sit in that class, it actually give us some or the other ignition, as Ajay said. So yeah, that is where we are figuring out where we want to go. Ramsha said she wants to specialize in something. Ajay had the spark of becoming an entrepreneur. I've been learning a lot because I'm an entrepreneur. The ignition, the fire is already there. Now I'm aligning my thought on how to take things forward for my own self, looking at my personal life as well. So yeah, that is what's happening.
And that's actually a great thing. I think we all don't know what we're capable of until we have doors opened for us. Have any of these doors opened for you, Amit, or you, Aniket? Any of these doors that you feel, okay, this was a life-changing opportunity and I didn't know I'd get something like this, or I'd be able to prove myself here?
I think one of the things that I've personally understood or learned better is strategy, because strategy at times is an overused term everywhere. But the things that have been taught, they're not purely theoretical. So I think my perspective about how strategy works was boxed in, as we were discussing before, but it's been unboxed. So I can think in 5 different ways, in multiple ways that a person has been thinking. And that makes, that skill set gives you a lot of room to grow and become a leader. So it's not exactly I've been prepping up to become the next level of manager, but also it's giving a wider perspective, and that's what my initial motivation was also to come in. That's one of the doors that's opened up for me. Of course, I've relearned marketing after coming here, so that's like a big thing. Learning 6 years worth of experience and then relearning. What about you, Amit?
So for me, it was mostly like a change of frame of mind. So we all remember the first day when Pratham gave us that speech. That was like listening to an entirely 1 hour of motivational speech. You are like, okay, yes, down with my job. I'm going to quit everything, become an entrepreneur. I'm going to do my own startup. But in about an hour or so, you sober up and you realize, no, I love my job. I love the salary I get at the end of the month. So that is the fun part. But once you keep learning, you realize, holy shit, I can actually do this. I can quit my job. I can either have my own startup, and then you start realizing startups aren't so bad. They actually have value. Would I have quit my job and joined a new company that is either in nascent stage or is just starting up? I would not have. I like working with these behemoths. But now I would actually explore that or even have my own startup because now I understand that this is doable. These are the basics that I just need to understand. So that is something I would definitely, like to learn more.
To add to your point, I can recall this part that any human wouldn't take a risk to start a business while they are in a job. But here you have it in your course to start a business. And with drop shipping making more than lakhs in a day, that is something unbelievable. We thought, why the hell are we just looking for that 30th ki salary if we can start a business in just 15-20 days and can earn lakhs in a day? So that is something which is again for all of us is an eye opener, not to just wait for the month end and get that drug.
Yeah, you realize that what was stopping you was you probably did not want to take the risk. So once you realize, oh, now I have the skills that I need to either build something with some determination and enough caffeine, I can probably build anything I want now because that's what they're teaching us day in, day out.
Right.
So now it's not unattainable. It can actually be done.
And that caffeine addiction from Amit triggered
Yeah.
the Karmic Coffee
you.
is one of the reasons why Karmic Coffee was born.
I think
There-
many doors have been opened. For me personally, I always felt I could only run like a fashion business. I could only work there and I understood the basics here. At Masters Union, the biggest doors that it's opened, someone like me creating an MVP for a travel tech business, creating, let's say, 2 F&B businesses that are actually profitable. I mean, I never thought I'll venture outside of fashion, but it's very, very comforting. And you feel now, okay, you got a hand of it, you got a hang of it, and now you can kind of run any kind of business. So I think we've all had those doors opened for us.
Yes.
And have many, many, many stories with us just 8 months in, and we have so much that we've learned, and we're also kicked about it. At that note, I think we'll sum up today's session. It was wonderful chatting, all of y'all. We're going to meet again on Saturday, of course. But yes, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.